to create a county police force. You have egregiously misled the public in this whole issue. You have said for the last 13 months you're not having county policing. It would not be a full-blown county police force. You claim you changed your mind because I wouldn't cooperate. Let me ask you this. How do you feel that you have the right to run my business in my office when I'm a state elected official, independent like the three of you? How do you feel you can do that?
Sheriff Goad,
answer my question,
I'm
sir.
going to try to answer. Well, you're not, this is our meeting, not yours, first of all.
I'm not being mean to you, Commissioner. I'm just answering your question.
I will answer your question. What's this? Would you read that? Read that, please.
You work
Commissioners, I'm not asking Mr. Everly. I'm asking the three of you.
I'm asking Mr. Everly to read it.
But I'm asking the three of you.
Well, I'm going to answer you the way I want to answer.
Okay.
Mr. Everly. Mr. Everly.
You work for us, we're asking you.
I'm going to comment after this. Keep out of it.
That is the public for the you.
Under Maryland Kumar, Article 24, Section 8102. Clearly states in state law that entities subject to county budget and fiscal policies and purchasing laws. Any county board of supervisors of election, any state's attorney's office, any sheriff's office, any circuit court, etc.
Please read that first sentence, Mr. Everly. Read that again.
Entities subject to county budget and fiscal policies and purchasing laws.
Correct. Purchasing laws only.
I'm sorry.
Purchasing laws, and I'd
county
be happy.
budget and
No, I don't think it'll stand in the court. It's purchasing laws. Purchasing laws. Not the budget. You've said repeatedly for many, many years, repeatedly, that the budget you give me is my budget. I can move money wherever I want to move it, and it's my budget. It also says, and I believe you'll find this in some other laws, I don't have the law right in my hand, but you also find in there that I'm to stay within my budget unless it's lawful to go outside of it. The biggest area of my budget that I'm outside of is overtime. And why, as I've repeatedly mentioned, until I'm blue in the face, I don't have staff. When you have 13 deputies working in the road patrol, and you have 5 or 6 of them who are not there, then you have no one to really run these shifts. You told me this past year, the first part of this past year, last year, excuse me, you told me first part of this year, excuse me, you told me my budget was frozen and I didn't have any more money. So I reduced the CAT crew. I took it off, much to my displeasure, and for that reason, I've taken it off because of the budget. If you recall, I came to another meeting to you on a budget hearing when you say I don't come to budget hearings, when I was in a specific mandated training. But anyway, I come to the budget hearing and I said to you, if you'll notice, I put people on second and daylight, and the budget has reduced $3,000 and some each month in the months that I actually took that crew off. Because I've told you I now have a sufficient amount of people on daylight and second shift, so we didn't need the overtime. And I've told you that repeatedly. Without additional overtime and money, there's no way I can bring that overtime in, because we don't have the staff. I've also had staff tell you we're filling in gaps. We fill in gaps, and I'm telling you a lot of sweat equity to try to fill in these gaps to find people that actually work. Who deputies have said to me repeatedly, I'm tired. I've worked this whole week double shifts. I can't work anymore. So there's issues, constant issues. And that, of course, brings up another safety issue. Another question I have, and it's brought to your attention today, is you tell the public that I've created a crisis or an emergency, whatever that may be, or an emergency crisis in public safety. And I'd like to know how I accomplished that. I'd like to know how that come about. It hasn't been answered here today, and I'd like to know that myself. How did I create this crisis in public safety? If anybody'd like to answer that.
The only answer that I got, and I think trying to deal with this, there was no continuity, and there was a crisis in confidence in your office, and a lot of this stuff could have been resolved if you'd come to the budget meetings. We could have talked about it, because I kept holding off, and you wouldn't show up.
Commissioner, I've been to 4 budget hearings the first part of this year. I missed 1 budget hearing. However, I sent 2 of my administrative staff there to answer any questions you had. Your only comments, Mr. Staken, repeatedly was, where's the sheriff, where's the sheriff, where's the sheriff? If there was an issue, you should have held it. Let's postpone it, get the sheriff in.
We'd have done that if you'd have
I
called.
then came to several budget meetings. I have been to several budget meetings.
Not to the main budget
The
meeting.
last budget meeting I came to, I asked you that I needed money moved because you reduced me in 5 areas at $61,000. You told me, just ask, you'll move the money. Well, that's fine. But I have been to several budget meetings.
You came to one the day
Several
before-
budget meetings.
One we came the day before the levies when you came, Sheriff Goad.
Mr. Hutchison, is there meetings you miss at the county building?
Excuse me?
Is there meetings that you miss at the county building when they're holding actual regular meetings?
There have been a few.
And what is that for, sir?
Probably a meeting out of town.
For Mako, correct?
Probably.
Correct. Are you ever chastised for that?
No.
I am, though. You're hearing it today. I'm being chastised because I was in a training program put on by the Department of Homeland Security, and I didn't schedule it, they scheduled it. And they told me I must attend or I get no funds. They refused to give me additional grant monies. That's why I missed your budget hearing and sent staff there to tell you that. So, again, I think, as heard here today, it's a control issue. It's a micromanagement issue. I don't listen to your policy. It had nothing to do with thumbing my nose at your policy. It had to do with the fact that I have the authority as an elected official to write and post my own policy, which I sent to you a month or more ahead of time. I got no response back. And as I mentioned to you on the 24th of July, it's a two-way street. But I don't get that back. And all of a sudden, supposedly because of these issues, that's why we're here today. And it's unfortunate that you have decided to do this. It truly is unfortunate. And as I said, you've misled the public into thinking this wasn't going to happen. But again, here we are again today. On that particular note, we're also aware that these individuals who have left my office and gone to the Bureau of Police no longer have certification. I heard Mr. Moore say a few minutes ago, or probably a couple hours ago, we've been here quite some time, that within a week to 10 days they'd have that certification. I believe that's not true. And the reason I say that is this: there's no guarantee that that Maryland Police Training Commission is going to, how their vote is on that. Or does he know that? Does he know how they're going to vote? I don't know if he does or not. He also has told the chair of that group, Terry Sheridan, who is the colonel of the Maryland State Police, that I fired the deputies, and that's why he needed an emergency waiver. And if you'd like Mr. Moore to come out here, I'd be happy to confront him with that. Because that's what he told people, that I fired the deputies. And I told Mr. Sheridan, I asked Mr. Sheridan, I said, you know, I've known you a long time, and I know you're a man of integrity, and I'd like to ask you a question. You don't have to answer me. But I'm being told by other sources that Mr. Moore told you that I fired the deputies. And Mr. Sheridan, on the phone, directly through his office, said to me, that's what Gary Moore told me. Mr. Moore. It should be on top of the mic, sir.
That is not correct. I did not tell the superintendent you fired anybody.
So you're calling Mr. Terry Sheridan, the colonel of the Maryland State Police, a liar?
No, I'm not doing that at all.
You are. You're standing right there telling me that.
I'm telling you that I did not tell him.
Well, it's a shame I can't have him here, but that's what he told me.
Sheriff Goad, this is not an interrogation of
I'm
anybody.
not interrogating anybody, Commissioner. I'm asking him a question. And I think it's valid to this whole process because
And he answered your question.
he has told untruths and misled people and explained to them, and this is the man you want running your police department? This is the man you want running your police department? I have absolutely no reason to lie to anybody, and never have in my 51 years in life, and never will.
This is the man we want running our police department.
That's what I just asked you.
Man who wrote this article.
That was me. That was me.
He
And
admitted
everything
you
on there,
lied.
and I'm admitting I wrote it, and everything on there is correct and true.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's your opinion. Well, wait a minute. Look down the side of it and tell me what's not right. Tell me what's not true. Tell me. Tell me.
First of all, Commissioner Hutchison said, we don't care what the public thinks, we're not running again.
You said that today.
Mr. Hutchison never said that. He did not say that.
All of you said it today. It's a done deal.
Did not say it, Sheriff, and you're...
You said it.
Yes, you did.
You said it to Deputy Macker.